Now, a promising development in genetic research has identified cows with the low milk urea nitrogen gene, urinate less nitrogen. The research project has found that dairy cows with a certain phenotype excrete 28% less nitrogen than others through their urine, diverting much of it into milk protein instead. This hasn't been a new concept, but it's the first independent verification of this concept. Joining us now, Lincoln University Professor in Livestock Production and Head of Centre of Excellence here at Lincoln University in Future Land Use, Pablo Gregorini joins us, as well as PhD student Cameron Marshall. Thank you for joining us on Sarah's Country. I know you gentlemen have certainly been around the traps of media attention, not only here in New Zealand, but around the world. This is a significant breakthrough, Pablo.
Well, yes, it is, and thank you very much, Sarah. Good evening. It's fantastic for us, from Lincoln University, to have a student fully funded by the university to bring this news to dairy farmers and livestock producers around the world. So for us, it's an immense pleasure to come out with this news.
Fantastic. Cameron, can you start us with what led you into this particular field of research here at Lincoln University?
So I actually did my undergrad here at Lincoln as well, and I guess I've always had an interest for the dairy industry. And one day in one of Pablo's classes, we just got talking, and one thing led to another, and here we are.
Okay, so the science around it, Cameron, what's been involved in this research? What sort of undertaking from a field research trial perspective as well as within the lab, so those watching can understand how much is involved in finding this gene?
A lot has gone into this project. It was an outdoor grazing trial, so we had every day had to move animals and shift animals around to make sure they were getting fed the right amount. We sampled them on a regular basis, where we took urine and fecal samples. We also took some blood and other samples. So once we had those samples, we had to take them to the lab, and we had to process them to a state where they were ready for chemical analysis. And then once we conducted all of this chemical analysis, it was time to do some stats and find the results we found.
Pablo,
one important. Yep.
How significant is this study for the future of dairy farming and in conjunction with the environment?
Well, it's pretty significant, not only because it is something that farmers have available right now. So some cows, their own herd, can be selected for this phenotype. But it's also important for all farmers around the world as well. We have just published this work of Cameron in a journal, which is top in environmental science. It's Science for the Total Environment. And so this is, I would say this has become viral since Friday when we released this news. So, it's very important because farmers, utilizing this available technology, if you like, can not only reduce in a very, very fast manner, if you like, their environmental impact on the waterways and greenhouse gas emissions, but also they can comply with the United Nations standards for sustainable development, that farmers utilizing this natural technology, if you like, getting into a more resilient and future systems, will take 3 of those standards.
So, Cameron, in regards to the significance, how much less nitrates will be sort of coming out the end of these particular types of special cows?
So in our study, we found a 28% reduction in the urine urea loading rate in a urine patch from the animal with the highest breeding value to the animal with the lowest breeding value. So this 28% reduction run through a model from Dee and Cameron here at Lincoln University resulted in about a 40 kg difference in nitrate leaching per hectare per year.
So across...
One of the things...
sorry,
I keep interrupting you like a good Argentinian. But one of the interesting things is like Cameron's, when he analyzed the difference between the highest and the lowest calories, right? He found a difference of 163 grams of nitrogen difference. So if we consider that in normal situations, a cow excrete around 350 grams of nitrogen per day in the urine, this is massive, massive.
We're effectively talking of halving the extra nitrogen that the cows do not need. There's excess to what they need to be able to produce milk and the energy levels within the fields. It's just more efficient use, isn't it, of the nitrogen applied and then consumed and out the other end?
Yeah, it is definitely more efficient. Especially if you see, what Cameron said, animal as a part of the solution, not as a problem anymore. If you can see that, these phenotypes of cows, not only divert more nitrogen to milk, right? So they have a greater content of milk protein, but they also divert a little bit of nitrogen to feces, which is more environmentally friendly than urine. So this is a fantastic conglomeration of results that farmers can use right away.
Cameron, what made it special for you doing a research here at Lincoln University versus other options for you post your graduate program and going into your PhD?
I guess what made it special for me, I mean, I've made a lot of contacts in the area and the science community around Lincoln with the Crown Research Institutes and at the dairy farms and local dairy farmers. So I guess I wouldn't have had those contacts and that support if I'd gone and done this research anywhere else. It was a great, I guess, building blocks I've made over the last 4 years at Lincoln that I've now been able to, if I have a question, I know who to go ask, and I can just knock on their door or give them a call, which I don't think I would have been able to do anywhere else as easily.
Such as Pablo as well. I'm sure he's been a huge part of this. Congratulations, gentlemen, on such a huge achievement on behalf of the New Zealand farming community as this goes viral around the world. We're very proud of you here, not only from Lincoln, but of course across the country.
This is Sarah's Country.